Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel All in One. In this video, we are going to study the notes and question and answers of class 9 English chapter 7, that is on saying please. If you want the notes of other lesson or other subject, you can check my playlist of my channel. You can easily get from there. Next, C1, answer the following in a word, a phrase or a sentences each. First question, why was the passenger thrown out of the lift? Answer, the passenger was thrown out of the lift for being impolite. He did not say top please but just said top. Second one, what would happen if we were given the liberty to box people's ears? Answer, if we were given the liberty to box people's ears, violence would be let loose. Third question, what can the law not compel us to do? Answer, the law cannot compel us to say please or to attune our voice to other people's sensibilities. Fourth question, what according to the author is the difference between physical pain and pain of the wound caused to one's self-respect? Answer, we always think of physical pain when we talk about pain, but the wounds is deeper and the scar darker when self-respect is damaged. The physical pain passes away soon, but the pain of wounded to our self-respect or our vanity may poison a whole day. Fifth question, what is the first and the most important requirement of civility? Answer, the first requirement of civility is that we should acknowledge a service. Sixth question, what did the polite conductor do for the author? Answer, when the author boarded a bus and found that he was utterly penniless, he told the conductor that he would go back. The conductor said that it was all right and issued him a ticket cheerfully. When the author wondered as to when to repay the amount, the conductor assured him that the author was likely to find him again sometime. Seventh question, who had trampled on the author's sensitive toe? Answer, the same conductor who had earlier helped him with the ticket trampled on the author's sensitive toe. Eighth question, the polite conductor. Option A, left the blind man at the bus exit. B, told Bill to take him across the road. Option C, told him, the driver, to wait and took him himself across the road. Option D, forced him out of the bus. The correct answer is option C, told Bill the driver to wait and took him himself across the road. Ninth question, why was there very fine weather on the polite conductor's bus always? Answer, it is people who bring about a change in the surroundings. There was always very fine weather on the polite conductor's bus because of his own civility, polite speech and good humor which infected his passengers. 10th question, what according to the people is the cause for the dampening of the everyday civilities? Answer, where there is pride, there is conflict. The everyday civilities diminution or dampen due to the clash of egos among people. The harmonious atmosphere is spoiled by the rudeness of an egoistic person. 11th question, civilities can be got back in our day-to-day life by option A, evoking the law. Option B, being more civil. Option C, paying rudeness with rudeness. Option D, by punishing an uncivil person. The correct answer is option B, being more civil. See to discuss the following questions in a group and answer. First question, can law enforce civility? Why? Answer, no, law cannot enforce civility. Unfortunately, law can be enforced only in specific instances of violation of human rights as spelled out in our constitution. The law can be enforced only when there is physical violence, but the law cannot enforce or compel on to say please or thank you, which would come under etiquette and not rule. The law does not consider the hurting of our feelings as a case for compensation. The law does not have any compensation for moral and intellectual damage. The law cannot become the guardian of our private manners. Question 2. How does bad temper affects one's life? Answer. Bad temper harms not only the person who exhibits it but also all those who come in contact with him. Bad manners are infectious. Bad manners do more to poison the stream of the general life than all the crimes in the calendar. When a man gets insulted by someone, he passes it on to someone else below his social standing. And in the same manner, it keeps passing from one to another, and the world gets infected with ill humors. Third question, discuss the importance and effect of good manners. Answer, it is not an exaggeration to say that manners make man. Good manners are also as infectious as bad manners, just like the sunny weather that brightens up people's spirits. Good behavior and also brightens up the day. If we are civil, humorous towards others, we will get the same response from others. That is why the theme of the essay revolves around the issues of manners, and while we might be frustrated with the rudeness around us, individuals can counter it with demonstrating good manners to one another and brightening one another's day. Fourth question, list out the instances in which the polite conductor showed his civil behavior. Do you approve of his behavior? Why? Answer, the author makes use of the characters of the conductor to highlight the points that it is possible for every one of us to be polite on a daily basis without losing anything. Once, when the author had forgotten his wallet and got into the bus, the conductor, instead of asking him to get down, gave him the ticket, asking him to pay the next time. Another day, the author's toy was trampled on by the conductor, but the conductor apologized so sweetly, sincerely, and repeatedly that the author willingly forgave him. The author noticed that the conductor was very helpful to both the old and the young alike. The author greatly appreciated the conductor's behavior towards a blind man. The conductor told the driver Bill to wait and took the blind man himself across the road. His behavior made everyone cheerful, and his gaiety was not a wasteful luxury but a sound investment. Fifth question, how could the lift man take polite and effective revenge? Suggest a way to do so. Answer, good manners are of great value in human life. Bad manners are not a legal crime, but everybody dislikes a man with the bad manners. Small courtesies win us a lot of friends. The law does not permit us to hit back if we are the victims of bad manners, but if we are threatened with the physical violence, the law permits us some liberty of action. Bad manners create a chain reaction. Social practice demands politeness from us. A well mannered person will find that his work becomes easier by the ready cooperations that he gets from others. That is why reacting to bad manners with bad manners would not be a solution. The lift man could have taken polite and effective revenge instead of getting upset and sending the man out of the lift. If he had treated the gentleman who was not civil with elaborated politeness, he would have had the victory not only over the rude man but over himself, and that is the victory that counts. Next one, C3, answer the following. First one, it is easy to be civil at all times. Do you agree? Why? Civility is at once easy and difficult. On the one hand, it is easy because it is something that is within our control. On the other, it is difficult because people with whom we associate are not civil. It is difficult to continue to be polite with them. Civility is also difficult because in life we interact with the people belonging to different backgrounds, cultures, and positions. What is perceived as rudeness by one might be the natural behavior of another. That is why the best yardstick of civility would be to behave in such a way that our behavior does not hurt others. Our behavior should be such that it spreads joy around us. Second question, if you are asked to recall a day in your life, you would perhaps remember both the good and the bad on that day. What do you think makes you recall both the good and the bad? Describe the people who you think were responsible for the same. Answer, first point, it is when we are on travel that we come across strangers who turn out to be either good or bad. It was when we went to a world famous museum that I had left my mobile in the washroom. The lady who went to the washroom after me came out running looking for me and returned the set. I will never forget the good deed of this stranger who was more than a friend at that moment. Second point, on the same day as the lift in a station was not working, I had a real tough time with my heavy luggage. Many young boys and girls passed by me without even looking in my direction. However, after I had climbed halfway through, an elderly gentleman offered help, restoring my faith in humanity. Third question, suggest some ways to encourage people to adopt civil behavior. Answer, A. The easiest way to adapt civil behaviors is to get into the Christian spirit of saying, do unto others what you want others to do unto you. Question B. A smile costs nothing. With a smile, we can turn strangers into friends. Next, C. Small helpful gestures like helping someone who is struggling with heavy luggage, moving a little by to accommodate a fellow passenger in the bus, exchanging the lower berth for an upper berth to help an elderly person in the train are all small gestures which will make life comfortable for other and worthwhile for us. So this is all about your lesson 7, that is on saying please. As I told you, if you want more lesson, check the playlist of my channel. Thank you.